The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters at Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest for you today, Dave Westall from Westall Real Estate in beautiful Tahoe, right off Lake Tahoe in Truckee, correct? You're in Truckee, California?
I'm actually coming to you from my office in Tahoe City today.
Oh, Tahoe City, okay.
Yeah, and I actually live in Truckee, so
Okay.
I make the big commute all of 20 minutes over to my
Man,
office, or
what a
depends on the day.
What a horrible commute.
Yeah, exactly.
The grind of it all. So, beautiful area, of course. A lot of folks move their second homes there. I'm aware, and I'm sure many of our listeners are as well. But Dave, how did you get started? I mean, I know you started around 2003, and so you've definitely got some experience, and you stayed in the same area. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. My entire real estate career has been here in North Lake Tahoe and Truckee.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got started. I moved out here after college to be a ski bum,
Why not?
as many people in this area do. And then after a few years, I'm like, how am I going to stay here? This is an expensive area. I love it. I don't want to give it up. And I had a older friend, and he had a good buddy that owned an appraisal business. And he said, you should talk to my friend George. And I went and set up a meeting with George to meet him. And the next day I was hired. So I spent the first 6 years of my real estate career as a real estate appraiser. And then I got my sales license back in 2007. So for a few years, I had overlapping licenses. And then I retired from the appraisal business as the world was collapsing in 2009. And it was actually a very great time to start a real estate career, although a little challenging. A lot of people were exiting, and I just had an idea of a marketing plan. I was a marketing major in college and had to leverage technology to get in front of people. And at that time, that's right around when most people started using iPhones, and Zillow was coming out. And I started using all these different technologies to market myself, and really paid off over time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, fantastic. So you've built your own real estate firm now. Did you start? I mean, did you start working for one of the larger brokerages in the area, or were you?
So to clarify, I actually do work for a large brokerage,
Okay.
but I run a team called the Westall Real Estate Team,
Okay.
and we're a part of Corcoran Global Living.
Very familiar.
And Corcoran Global Living was the West Coast expansion for the Corcoran Group out of New York City and on the East Coast. And they acquired the boutique brokerage that I previously worked for, which was Oliver Luxury Real Estate. And that was an independent franchise that was a Christie's affiliate. And for the last, I don't know, it's almost 2.5 years now, we've been a Corcoran affiliate.
Not a bad company to be affiliated with.
Yeah, it's the fastest growing real estate firm in California. So it's we were their first acquisition. So
Oh, wow.
It's been really fun to go from a couple hundred agents to well over 5,000 agents in a short period of time.
Wow, that's amazing. So we talked about how you got started a little bit. Let's talk about today. So
Sure.
how do you, you said you kind of, you were a marketing major and you kind of got started in marketing, and there was a lot of technology changing right around 2007, 2008. You jumped aboard. Is that still how you find new listings or buyers, or what's happening for you now? How are you finding listings?
Yeah. Yeah, we have a pretty good marketing mix. So our business comes from a number of different mediums. Our referral network is amazing. So we do a lot of referral business. One of my close friends and colleagues owns a big property management firm up here. And if you work in a second home market, I would highly suggest making very good friends and taking good
Right.
care of your property management colleagues, because they have people that decide to sell their homes and also
Mhm.
clients that have been renting for years that decide to purchase. So that's been a very steady source of buyers and sellers over the years. So that's been fantastic. And then one of my biggest sources over the last, call it 3 or so years, has been through website search engine optimization.
Mhm.
I spent a lot of time and effort on my website since the first day I became a realtor. And really, in the past 3 or 4 years, it's really paid off. And I have some really good rankings for some key search words. My Google business profile, um, that drives a lot of business as well. So, really trying to leverage technology both for myself and for my clients. And it's really created a great situation where even now where the market's a little bit slower, we're still
Mhm.
generating multiple leads from the website every single week.
That's
And
great.
some of them are ready to go now, and other people take time, but it's just a consistent source of good quality leads.
Yeah, I mean, if you can keep it consistent and keep that funnel filled, so to speak, you'll
Yeah.
never want, right? That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah, for us, the want is to take the next step in terms of price points and average sale price. So we're pretty consistent with the number of sales and the buyers and sellers that are coming to us. But here in Tahoe, we have some pretty incredible price points, and the higher end luxury properties. We sell quite a few of those, so it's a market where there's always opportunity, and that gives me the encouragement and motivation to try and keep getting better.
That's fantastic. Now, are they doing any building there? I mean, I did see a couple of lots for sale on
Yeah.
your listings. Are they building still, or is it pretty much what's on the ground is what you got?
Yeah, so there's a few different market segments in what we call Tahoe, and properties that are closer to the lake, which you can see behind me there. There's not a lot of new development opportunities. So oftentimes, speaking of the high end, we have lakefront properties, which most lake communities offer. But our lakefront properties started about $4 or $5 million for what we consider a tear down property. That's a property that's probably older, in a state of disrepair,
Right.
or just not maximizing the beautiful, parcel of land that it sits on. So we do see a lot of new construction in the lakefront market with people buying these quote unquote tear down homes and then building a new property, which is a process unto itself. And then there are some vacant land over at the lake. Um, but a lot of the best parcels have already been built on. So it's really challenging to find good quality lots. And we have a lot of building restrictions
Sure.
centered around the lake, and maintaining the clarity of the lake and keeping up with the environment. So, similar to like what a coastal commission would be on the California coast, we have the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency, which regulates every property within the boundaries of Lake Tahoe. But then if we go out to, say, Truckee, California, we have a lot of newer golf course communities and subdivisions out there where land is more readily available. So
Right.
oftentimes that land is a little less expensive than the properties that are closer to the lake.
Yeah, Truckee to me, and I've been there, I think twice now, or through Truckee. To me, is and maybe not to you because you've been there most of your life. It is like I don't know how do you say not it's not a diamond in the rough because but it's the kind of like the secret, like it's
Yeah,
no one really knows about it until you're there, unless
yeah,
you're local to that area and or people that have second homes in that area. But I always tell people, oh yeah, you're gonna go out there, you go through Truckee, and then if you're gonna look for a home, yeah, it's a beautiful area. A lot of folks
yeah.
don't know about it though.
Yeah, Truckee, I almost group it along with Lake Tahoe when I
Hmm.
discuss property.
Sure.
And it's just really a thriving community. Whereas over at the lake, because of the pricing of our homes, it's been harder and harder for families to purchase property and create that community vibe. It's not to
Right.
say that that doesn't exist, but it exists more handedly out in Truckee, where there's more school opportunities, childcare opportunities, sports and events, and the community has just been thriving for, say, the last 10, 15 years. So it's just a really positive place to be, and a lot of great golf courses, fly fishing, mountain biking, and it's not that far away from the Tahoe ski resort, so that makes
Sure.
it really attractive as well.
Yeah. I mean, that drive, I guess you drive now. I'm looking at a map, so don't think I have memorized this, but that I guess you take 89 south towards Tahoe
Correct.
City. I, to me, I would call that, I mean, just looking at it and having lived out in California at one point in my life, that would have to be one of the most scenic and serenity. I could really do some meditation on the
Yeah,
way in and on the way home. I'm sure that's just beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my commute each day.
Yeah.
We 5 years ago we migrated from being over at the lake to living in the big city of Truckee,
Why not?
and my commute most days is along that Highway 89 corridor, which is
Yeah.
where the Truckee River parallels the
Right
highway.
along. Yeah.
So you're kind of in this beautiful canyon with river views, and every season's really different. So right now we have the foliage along the river
Mm.
changing, and soon we'll have snow, and it's just like you said, it is meditative. It's just
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, I believe it. Well, I'll never complain about living in West Palm Beach. Well, I do complain about it, but it's got its own beauty, but that's a beauty is almost polar opposite of
Yeah,
what I deal with on a daily basis. But
we have a little
that's
more topography here.
yep, for sure. I have an ocean,
Yeah,
that's the best part. But
yeah,
yeah, I
exactly.
mean, that's the great thing about the United States is all the different areas, and I encourage people to get out and see those areas, and really get to know what's out there. So let me ask you this: if I had you've probably heard this before, Dave. If I've had a magic wand and every day you woke up, you had something that you'd always thought about and you really wanted to make that push forward, but just couldn't make it happen, what would that be? And
If
I
I
could
had a
fix it.
magic wand.
No, I have the
Yeah,
magic wand, not you, Dave. I'm coming to you saying I'm going to fix
yeah.
one thing that you've been trying to do. What would that be?
For me, like I mentioned earlier, I just want to consistently work with, higher end properties each year. And we do a lot of that, but more consistently. So, uh, I'd love for you to wave your wand and create consistency at the higher end of the market for me. We're making great headways getting there on our own, but it's like most markets, it's a super competitive market where you have to be on your A game. It's, the equivalent of being a professional ball player.
Sure.
And, we're sharpening our tools and utilizing technology and making great connections each and every week. So we're getting there, but having that magic wand would be really cool.
Right. Well, I may have it. So we've talked about, how you got into the business, and we talked about, kind of some of the offerings in the area and what it's like there. And so let's put on our prognostication hats with our wand, and let's talk about, what does the next year look like, or the next maybe 2 years? What are some of your goals, and where do you see yourself?
Yeah. Um, I have a newer teammate that works with me who's a buyer's agent. Her name's Beth Taylor, and
Congratulations. Yeah, that's
just
great.
just yeah, she's just amazing. She had 14 years of property management experience before coming to me. And at the end of her property management career, she was a liaison between these property owners and the management team. So she was the one who communicated with them. So just fantastic skills in terms of dealing with clients. So I'm just so fortunate to have her, because teaching her the sales part has been really easy, but her conversation skills and knowledge of our area is just next level. So I'm really lucky to have her. And I bring that up because in the years to come, it's allowed me to chase more listings
Right.
while having confidence on the buyer side of the equation. And we both work together fairly often. So, between the two of us, we're really able to deliver a high level of confidence in our clients and ability to make deals happen. So I see that growing and evolving. We have a marketing manager on our team, so we're doing really well on that front, and we're just trying to get better at more video and podcasts and things like
Sure.
this to get in front of the right people. And so I see that growing. Across the country, our market has challenges. So we're just I'm optimistic that things are going to shake out. It's just going to take a little bit of time for buyers to get used to these higher interest rates. In our market, we have extremely low inventory, and we're
Yeah.
going into our slowest period of the year inventory wise. Yet we're still seeing demand on the buyer side. So I feel like going into the spring next year, which is kind of the start of our selling season, that we're going to have some pent up demand, and that hopefully carries us into next year on a positive note. There's a lot of factors that our market traditionally, when the stock market's not doing as well,
Right.
when inflation's running higher, a lot of people want a tangible asset in terms of a second home. They see real estate as a great investment. So I'm seeing some positive signals. I'm a born optimist. So hopefully that plays out really well. But it's kind of uh, a reflective time as well, because we've been going at 150 miles an hour for the last 2 years. Now
Right.
we've downshifted to about 65. So we're still moving at a good clip, but it's just not the feverish pitch that we're used to.
Right. Just like driving, when you do slow down to that level, you feel like you're crawling. You're like, wow, I learned to go at a certain speed, and now it's
Yeah,
normalized. What do I
yeah,
do? You know? So
yeah,
we're kind of winding down here, but I wanted to do, let me ask you this, Dave. How would someone get in touch with you if they either wanted to potentially buy a home, or maybe they have a home
yeah.
to list, or maybe they just want to chew your ear a little bit and solve some of your problems?
Yeah, so I'd like to make that easy for people. And if you type in westallrealestate.com, that's my website, and that's the best way to get in touch with me. We have great SEO. So if you type in Tahoe City real estate agent or similar search phrases, our business profile usually pops right up in the first or second spot there. But I'm always available to chat. I do a market report each month that provides a lot of great insight, and happy to answer any Tahoe real estate questions. Or if you just want to know where to see the beautiful wildflowers, go for a hike or mountain bike ride, where to play golf, I'm always happy to make those connections as well.
Fantastic. So, Dave, as I told you earlier, I always give the last 2 minutes, to our guest. anything you'd like to talk about, or anything maybe we didn't cover that you wanted to cover? Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Uh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing about Lake Tahoe is that it's an amazing place to live. If you're lucky enough to make this your primary residence, there's great opportunities for those people. Our primary buyers come out of the San Francisco Bay Area, and they come here for usually the skiing, and then they learn how amazing it is during the summer months in terms of activities and whatnot. So, I love making connections, and I love helping people understand Tahoe and figure out all the fun aspects of our community. And speaking of community, I'm a firm believer in giving back to the community. So I do a lot of work with different nonprofits up here, and work on different fundraisers to help provide access to less fortunate members of our community. And we actually started a program a little over a year ago. We call it the 1% for Tahoe, and we give 1% of all of our commission earnings to different nonprofits throughout the year. Usually each quarter we choose a nonprofit and deliver a check, learn about what they're doing and projects that are coming up. So when you work with us, you're working with someone who really is dedicated to the Tahoe community and likes to give back and likes to connect the dots. So it's a really, really great opportunity for me.
Fantastic, Dave. I love to hear it. That was great. Thanks for being on the show, and I'd love to catch up with you maybe 3, 6, 9 months down the road and see how you're faring out.
Yeah, I'd love to chat again, and I greatly appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Have a great week, Dave.
Yeah, you as well.